Hi, welcome to Kay Lynch channel. Today we are going to go over how to brush your dog. Elsa, a standard poodle, is going to be our demonstration dog to show you how to properly brush your dog at home. I will be using a curved slicker brush and a stainless steel comb. Enjoy! So today we have Elsa, who's going to be our demo dog. She is a standard poodle, and she's going to help show how to properly brush your dog. I've had a lot of requests on how do I get through the isolation, the quarantining, without being able to bath my dog or take my dog to the groomer. So today we're going to show you the most important thing, and one of the ways that I think is the best trick in order to have your dog groomed in a relaxed setting at home. So again, the most important before a bath is you must brush the dog's coat out before they have a bath. Today we're also going to be clipping Elsa, so I'm just going to show you some of the brushing that I would do prior to the clipping. As you can see here, Elsa is lying on our grooming table. And yes, there's no restraints. She's not sedated. She's just used to being groomed. So if you say, I don't have a grooming table, not a problem. Take your dog's pillow, put a grooming blanket or a blanket that now will become your grooming blanket on top. That way you can brush out your dog, and if there's any dirt, hair, sand in some cases, you can just fold that up, shake it outside, and wash it. Too easy. So you don't require a grooming table, but in this case, this is my trick. I love having a dog like this that will be groomed for probably easily, if you're brushing it out, maybe an hour on each side. If you're taking your time, maybe a little bit less. You can break it into half an hour and then let it go run, have something to eat, such as that. Break it into little half-hour slots. By having your dog lying down like this, you are able to check in all the little sort of nooks and crannies that you can't actually see. So under the front leg, under the back legs, doing the stomach quite well. And you'll be able to check, now we're into the seasons of flea and tick. You'll be able to look for any fleas, ticks, lumps, bumps, that type of thing. So a lot of my clients say, oh, I brushed out the dog for you, you don't have to do that, when they come with a dog. And yes, they've gone like this, and the top layer, sure, it's brushed, but can I actually get my comb through that? Probably not very well without a tangle. That's right, it's getting caught. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to see the skin when you brush. I don't want to brush the skin, but I want to be able to see the skin. So I'm going to take my slicker and I'm going to feel what pressure is good on my own skin. And sensitive wise, you're going to have the same for your dog. So you don't want to brush too hard and then have that on your dog. So we're just going to start, and I like holding one part of the coat back and taking the other part so I can see the skin, and then I'm going to begin to brush. So taking my slicker brush, I'm just going to take a few hairs at a time. So you can see that when I'm taking just a few hairs, and I'm going to work my way down. Let's say the dog's becoming a little bit irritated in that one area. No problem. You can tell between here that is brushed, and I'll show you with the comb. It is actually brushed now, that the comb just goes through that so nicely in that little section that we did. And this other area over here that is definitely not groomed yet. So then you can jump back and forth, and as long as you connect everything together at the end and check it out with the comb to make sure that there's no tangles, then you're good for the bath. We're not sure exactly when the groomers will be back up and able to take your dogs for a groom, and I'm sure they'll be really busy, so this way it'll get you through that very difficult time. So again, we're not sure exactly how long before the groomers can get back to their businesses and start grooming again. So you want to be able to have your dog in fairly good condition during this time, and it also gives you something to do. Some nice bonding with your dog during the quarantine, and you're keeping your dog's coat healthy and in shape. So Elsa has been out playing. She's quite dirty, so she really does need a brush and a bath. So again, every time I am checking where the skin is. So you can see here it's quite easy to see. And yes, I'm brushing towards the head, but I can also brush this direction. And I can also go here. At the end, you're going to brush it all the proper way after you're completely all brushed through. So you can see there, just taking little tiny sections at a time. And it's a lot less frustrating, and it's a lot more effective than just going on the top like this, where you never get to the bottom, where it's actually, that's where the coat and the hairs tangle and get sometimes matted by swirling around. Perhaps from food, perhaps from sitting on it all the time, being outside in a muddy environment, whatever the case may be, you want to be able to get every little hair brushed out. So again, you can do this while you're watching TV, take your time, the dog's relaxed. And if you're saying, my dog won't lie down like that, they will after a while. It's like us, it's enjoyable if someone's giving us sort of a massage as we're checking everything over, grooming us gently. It makes it much easier. And again, you can get into those trouble areas under the front leg and hold it up. You can also hold under there. Yeah, the skin is a little bit more tender here. So hold it and have that between your fingers and your thumb, and then brush the hair from there. And then go back with your comb in those areas. It'll make it a lot nicer. So we continue that way with Elsa. So you just continue all the way through, brushing as you go, holding back. I switch hands to whatever's more comfortable, whichever hand is easier to use on that side or whatever. And it also gives your hands a break. Most people would just brush with their right hand. And that's fine. Okay, here we're working on the front paw, because that's usually more difficult than the hind leg might be slightly more matted, but the front paws, often the dogs don't like their legs being touched. I just like starting right at the foot. I'm going towards the upper part of the leg as I'm brushing, and again I'm going to just take a little bit at a time, move this hair back, and just keep brushing. I can see the skin there, so right there we can see the skin. Going gentle so she doesn't mind it, and brushing all the little curls out and any tangles or any dirt. I've actually seen the odd burr or twig, not right now, not coming out of winter, but in other times that I've groomed Elsa or brushed Elsa. And we're just going to continue that way. So continue like that all the way up the leg. Underneath here, I'm going to hold the leg up. But it's not like when she's standing and then the leg is being twisted. So you're just holding it, but you're holding it still in that position that she would normally have her leg in if she were to be standing. So she's still very comfortable. I can feel within here, I can see, is there any mats, any trouble areas, anything I have to work on? And then I just would go through and taking a little bit at a time. I'm holding the coat with this hand and taking a little bit of the coat at a time. And we're going down, getting everything all brushed out. Using this curve slicker will decrease your brushing time, shall I say, in half. It helps quite a bit. You don't need as much elbow grease in order to get through that coat. The flat slickers are nicer for sort of those medium coated dogs that their coat doesn't really tangle up or get matted. But the curve slicker just works so nicely on this dog. And it'll be a time saver for sure. You can see there, the leg is almost complete. And again, we would check that with our comb, make sure we get through any troubled areas. So I've already gone through it all. Here, when I'm doing just a little bit at a time, like this, and then at the end, I would go through the whole thing in both directions, making sure I've got out any little last tangles. And she stayed very calm. She's such a good girl. So thank you very much for watching how to brush your dog during the quarantine. I hope you love the trick of lying your dog down on its side as much as I do. This is a super way to have both you and the dog relaxed while you're grooming or brushing out your dog, making the task, I'm not going to say chore, making the task that much more enjoyable for both of you. So again, if you have any comments, just leave them on below. Hit subscribe, as we're going to be doing other tricks going along different dogs grooming. So hit the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. Thanks so much for tuning in.